If you were to commit and show up fully for 30 days, how could your life change? How could your health change? Perhaps you'd lose a bunch of weight. That'd be great. Perhaps you'd introduce some new habits. I believe that there's a lot of potential for giving yourself a chunk of time, a timeline, 30 days, and going all in on you and seeing how far you can go, how much you can affect change in your life, how much you can change your health, your current standing. Now, I've talked a lot about the long game, and I think we're all in the long game. It's one life; it goes until it doesn't. And being healthy for a moment in that life is not as beneficial as being healthy long term. The idea of like doing a crash diet and getting fit just to look good on that one day and then kind of falling off again. I Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. So does this counteract that? Does this contradict that mindset? And I don't think it does. And let me try to explain why. No, the long game, showing up every day is the way to succeed, to keep voting for the person you want to become. You show up, you say, I want to become this new person, this new version of myself, me 2.0 or 3.0 or 10.0, whatever, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to do the actions that are going to make that person exist, make that better, fitter, healthier, whatever the vein of life is, kinder, less stressed out version of myself. I'm going to bring that person into existence by doing the steps each day, showing up and deciding I'm going to do it. Now, if we wanted to make change quicker, we could throw more things into that new version of ourselves. So perhaps if we're starting from zero, we're like, hey, I'm going to wake up when the alarm goes off, and that is what I'm going to do. And that is the first step to a new version of myself, where maybe before I would hit the snooze button twice, 3 times, 4 times. Now it's like, hey, when that alarm goes off, I get up. And maybe you do nothing. Maybe that is all you do is you get up. Yeah, well, before you didn't. You are planting seeds for this new version of yourself already. And if we can reframe it where a win isn't, I had the perfect day, everything went wonderfully well. I hit a workout, I was an hour in the gym, I ate nothing but, smoothies, whatever. Everything went perfectly. That was a win. For most people, that's such a bizarre change from who they actually are right now. That jump is so huge and crazy to even consider. So for most people, a small little change is going to be a good place to start. I'm going to get up when the alarm goes off. That means I won today. I already won. That's great. But we can go beyond that. And if we can intensify or try to make change faster, we condense the timeline into, let's say, 30 days or whatever. We're going to do a bunch of things. We're going to be waking up with the alarm, sure, but we're going to be doing some exercise, a small amount, but some. We're going to be taking care of our nutrition. We're going to be challenging some beliefs we have about ourselves, mostly about what we are capable of. Some of that's going to come down to like some intermittent fasting stuff, maybe if you're ready for it, or just the fact that you can get enough work done in a few minutes a day of exercise. We're going to challenge these beliefs, and we're going to do that consistently for 30 days. On the other end of that, not only are you going to be healthier and fitter and stronger and maybe make some muscle and maybe lose some fat, but you're going to have different ideas of what you are, of who you are and what you're capable of. That is the real thing that is going to promote long-term change. So when I say a long-term game, we have to have a belief about ourselves that we're capable of long-term change, that we're capable of doing different things. And we need to expose ourselves to different things to understand, I can do this. I am capable of this. I didn't even realize I had that capacity. And now I know, and knowledge is power. On the other side of that, on the other side of that experience and that learning becomes, the door's open to, you know what? I thought the world was like this. I thought this was what I needed to do. Actually, this is working, and it's taking less of my time. It's taking less of my mental faculties or my physical faculties, and I'm able to get results. So if at the end of this 30 days, Yeah, if you lose some weight, that's awesome. I'm stoked for you, and I think you can. It's very easy to. Like I've seen people lose 10 pounds in just over 2 weeks, and no big deal. If you're locked in, it's not hard to do. But it takes something more to keep that 10 pounds off. Um, it takes stepping into the new version of yourself, and the 30 days is going to be challenging, mostly because it's uncomfortable. And what makes it uncomfortable is you're stepping into new habits, new ways of doing things that are unfamiliar, that might feel scary, that might feel, well, uncomfortable is really the best word. Uncomfortable because of it. Maybe physically you haven't done those things, but also mentally you haven't challenged yourself in these ways. You haven't convinced yourself that, maybe I can go for a couple more hours without eating any food and that won't do me any damage. It's uncomfortable because your body is going to fight to convince you, no, you have to eat. We need to eat. We're going to die. When you're not going to die, you can go a long time without any food and not die. So for you to go 12 hours, 16 hours without having food, you're not going to die. You might be uncomfortable, might feel a little bit hungry, but you're not going to die. And once you do it once, you realize that wasn't that hard. If I'm capable of this, what else? What else am I capable of? What are the other areas in my life that I can give more where I thought I couldn't, where I thought I didn't have enough? And I work mostly with fathers who are, usually time is of the essence. There's not a lot to give. You have your job, you have your house, you have renovations. I'm literally wearing a shirt. I've got like paint on it and stuff because I just was doing some renovations like a minute ago, and I had to get my button here to remember to make this video. Time is the biggest thing for most dads. We want to make what time we have count. But beyond that, we want to become the kind of person who prioritizes the most important things. And the health has to come into that, has to come into play at some point. For me to be the best father, for me to show up fully, I need to have my wits about me physically. I need to not be in a haze because I worked 8 hours and I got no energy left. So that means I'm going to be fueling the body the right way. So I have more to offer. I'm going to be doing the right exercises. So I have more strength to give. So I can continue to carry my kids up to bed, up the stairs, even though I'm exhausted. But I still have that strength to do it. Yeah, it all matters. It all matters. And I'm going wildly off topic here, but let's bring it home. Let's bring it home. In 30 days, can you make change? Absolutely, you can. If you're willing to show up and do it. Now, the structure of this is set up that the daily things that you need to do are very minimal. But there's a saying, like if it's easy to do, it's very easy to not do. And that's where the community comes in. That's where the accountability comes in. We are expecting you to show up every day. Even if you're saying, hey, I didn't do a great job today, but I'm here. That is still a win. Um, Even if it's just like, hey, I'm here. Here's my morning weight. I did my workout. See you tomorrow. Great. That's a win. You checked in. The power in the accountability is, for most of us, myself included, if we didn't need it, we would already be where we wanted to be. We would already be in that new version of ourselves with those new results. But the reality is that's not true. The reality is we're most of the time I've heard it this way, like the Dan who plans things at nighttime, that guy's got ambition. He's like, oh man, tomorrow, like Dan of tomorrow is got, oh, man, I'm giving him a great day and he's going to crush it. The day of tomorrow, when the alarm goes off, that guy has a different level of motivation. It's much lower. Usually the bed is more comfortable and the alarm is much more annoying. So the ambitions of that guy are much less than Dan of yesterday, who was getting ready for a nice night of sleep. The best results I've gotten in my life have been when I've been around other people who are doing the same thing, or at least going in the same direction. And it's it's a different ball game. It really changes the playing field when someone's going to be checking in, even if they're just saying, "Hey, how did it go? Hey, where you been? Hey, you said you would show up and you didn't." It's a small thing, but there's a level of, let's call it, positive peer pressure that if someone's expecting you to check in and they're expecting you to check in, ah, my ego, my pride is on the line. So I will show up. And we got to use whatever resources we can to make it easier for you to show up, even if it means, tugging at your pride a little bit. Because at the end of the day, you can have a program, you can have everything you need to get going. I can give you a program fully customized, epic to your specific qualifications and needs. And if you don't do it, it doesn't really matter. So it's all about, are you going to show up and do it? That's really what it comes down to for me as well. And I'm not just talking about fitness here. It comes down to like every area of life, you have to do the work. If I want to be a more calm individual when I get stressed out or when I've had up to here with kids and yelling and stuff, I have to do the work to engage more positively rather than lose my temper and yell and everyone's scared of me. That's a real thing that requires real work. I can plan out workouts. I can make a nutrition plan, but if I don't do those things, I don't eat the food, I don't do the workouts, it doesn't really matter. It's all just in theory. It comes down to the doing, and that's what the accountability is about. Did you do it? Did you do it? Yes or no? It's yes or no, yes or no. So what's nice is the things you have to do are usually small. Like the expectation in this is that you just show up and do something, even if you're just doing push-ups. Like maybe you do a set of push-ups every day. That is something you didn't do before. That's a win. So did you do that? Yes. We can start small. We can always add. Start small. Did I wake up when the alarm went off? Yes. You won. Carry on. Maybe tomorrow we stack a couple more things on. Great. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small. And we add to that. And as your comfort zone expands and as your ability to do those new things becomes a part of who you are, then who you are is capable of more. And that's what's really cool to see. So 30 days in the scheme of a life, it's very, very short. But what you can attain in that time, some skills, some level of transformation, if not physically, then at least in the mental part of yourself. That is the power. That's where the potential is kind of unlimited, because it's a stepping stone to what's next. So if you went into this and lost some weight, that'd be awesome. I'd be stoked for you. But more intentionally, if you come out of this with a little bit of knowledge about yourself, a little bit of understanding of what it's going to take to move you forward, and a little bit of motivation to make it happen, then you're miles ahead. So if you want to be a part of this, it's super easy. You just got to be a member of the Simply Strong Fathers community. I'll put a link below. I'll put a link wherever I need to put a link so you can get there. It's $47 a month. If you do the 30 days and you want to leave, then leave. That's fine. If you want to stick around for another month, if you want to stick around for a while, they'll continue to be updated, more programs, more options, more challenges. It's a place for fathers to work on themselves physically. And the Trojan horse is that takes working on yourself mentally as well. That is the you're not supposed to know that, but like you can't manage the physical transformation without a mental transformation, without an identity shift. So I'm getting off track now, so I got to wrap it up. If you're a busy father who is ready to reset, then let me know. Shoot me a message on Instagram, here on YouTube, and just jump in the community and we'll get you hooked up with whatever you need to succeed in this. I'm excited to do this. I need to reset myself. The intentions of the new year have passed and I am left wondering, hey, what happened? How did it become April already? And how have I not got all the results I was expecting to have by now? It's fine. We just jump back in. And I find the community is the best way to do that. Yeah. And if you have questions, please let me know. And if I can help in any way at all, just let me know. I'm stoked to be of service. Cheers.